Okay. Hello, everybody. We're already 0 for 1 on technical troubles today. Had to cut the stream right after starting it. Yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with that. But last night was a bit of a technical cluster anyways. So, to be expected. I think I've got the... I think I just had the wind taken out of my sails by a private message here. Well, okay. Well, real quick, I flipped the camera around. Stream should look a little better for this game. I was covering up all the characters, but I'm speechless. I realize anyone watching, except for one person, has no idea why I'm speechless. But let's just say I got a message, and I'm speechless. How about this?
This is great and all.
Yeah, hey Adair,
I think
come on.
I'd be having more fun swinging from that tree back home.
Do it, Adair, do it. I need a minute. I am still speechless. And I will probably send you a few more messages back. So hopefully I don't accidentally time you out trying to whisper. You know how I do that. Save load. How are you doing? Concha, how are you? I only started a little bit early tonight, so I know that won't mean too much. Still thinking about the schedule long term. So, yeah, I'm a bit in shock. And I won't share the reason because it's not my business to share. But I'm going to be in shock for a few minutes. It may not look like it, but definitely looking forward to getting back into Pillars. Almost kept up with it last night. I thought it would be nice to speak a little less. But we have a lot to catch up on before we even just heading to bed. I must do some earlier streams on weekends. So all these good people who have come to join me can join me sometime. What's happening? Nothing's happening on this end. I'm just processing somebody else's information. So, well, here I'll give you something unrelated. I need to actually get the link here, but I mentioned the other day a fantastic streamer, a very big streamer, and I found something very interesting today. I hadn't kept up with him in a while. Here. So, this large streamer, Ezekiel the Third, was a fantastic guy, and I haven't been keeping up with him much here. He was at E3 this year, and I didn't know this, but I guess things have happened that were pretty significant to him in his life and to people who watch and support his stream and his friends, including some other very big streamers. and he made... It's, again, this is something else, so this is why I bring it up now, because it's another thing that's not my business to share, but it was probably viewed by 1,000 people, and it's been viewed by another 1,000 since he has made it public. And the reason I wanted to share it is because I not only think he's a fantastic person, we're all flawed people, and that's what he made a very interesting video. It's about 15 minutes long, and it's about what happened at E3. It's about you should check it out. Turns his green screen off. I'm gonna put a link here. And it's pretty raw. It's pretty raw. Life is pretty raw sometimes. So if you feel like it, check it out. Even if you don't know who he is, and give him a follow. Give him some love. And that's not why I'm in shock at all. That's something else. That's me trying to come out of shock, thinking about something else. There's a lot stirring in the head, though. Pie in the sky, how are you doing? Darky, hello. All right, well, let's do pillars. I haven't moved an inch. There we go. We've moved an inch. Game over. You can all go home now. So, first boring order of business is figuring out what kind of loot we've been picking up. We have actually stuffed everything in the stash and not thought about it since the first day we were playing. So let's spend 5 minutes, sort it out, see what we can use. And we got to get some camping supplies, cover some basics. Have fun. How are you doing? Welcome. So most of this is junk, but I'm sure we can use a couple things. A great sword, a rapier, a scepter. Is anyone even using scepters? I don't think so. Armor. There has to be something we can use here. Some fine brigadine. Yeah, have fun. If you saw that, then you know what I'm talking about. You probably saw me getting choked up just thinking about it. Zeke's a good guy. And we all go through a lot of stuff sometimes. Alright, we don't need to go back there. So, maybe nothing as special as I thought. We could probably sell most of this. I worry that this hat will look silly, but I'm sure someone could use Constitution. This'll look just great. Actually, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Darky, you've got to take care of yourself. If you're miserable up here and you're miserable on your legs, what do you got left? Well, I guess plenty. Don't lose any more. Take care of what you got. Oh, he can definitely use scepters and wands. You're right, but let's see. What is he using? He's using his staff, and the range on that. Sometimes I worry about Durance getting up too close. And his range is 175. Or a rod. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. If we can equip him with the scepter. $10 Good call. Good call. And again, just to recap, we're going to try not to get sidetracked on side quests. We will do side quests, but mostly as they cross our path. So this will be... I haven't played the game before except for the first section that we've now played on stream. But we're going to stick to the main quest, and we're now past where I was. So we have places to find. And he's already using a scepter. and it would have been an upgrade for him. Granted, maybe that makes more sense to give it to him, but either way, I like the idea of Durance using something that has a 10-meter range instead of a 1.75-meter range. And we really don't have a lot of money. Our stronghold has barely been upgraded. I think we haven't even done the main keep. We started the main keep, and the main keep was almost finished, and I don't know, we died, we hadn't saved in a while. We lost the main keep, but we didn't restart it for a while. That's what it was. So we've only now got the main keep going. Do they sell camping supplies in the brothel? Let's find out. And we were in the middle of trying to sort out the brothel who was raising their prices. Is that Maya? Maya, who was raising the prices, and the thugs who were harassing the nobles. And some convoluted scheme where if we affect the prices of one product, we'll sort out all their troubles.
Well met, friend.
Yeah, the restart Have Fun was when the 1.5 patch or the 1.6 patch, Cypher. Was Cypher, is Mother a Cypher? We haven't found Mother here. I had found Mother before. The Mother. At any rate, Cypher got changed so much, and a couple other things that you needed to restart if you wanted to. They basically said, Obsidian said, well, this isn't what we intended. Those classes you've been playing, they're wrong. And if you want them fixed, you have to start over. So. One thing I haven't looked into, and I don't know, is whether prices are affected when you sell things. Sorry. When you sell things to different vendors, will you get better prices from a weapons vendor for weapons and so forth? I do not know. Let's hope I didn't put anything useful down there. I don't think I did. We'll save a couple assorted items. A war hammer. Looks kind of like a normal hammer to me. Get a lot more for armor. A whole lot more for armor. That is weird, Darky. You weren't kicked out for dinosaurs tonight. Not yet, not yet. Okay. I was even thinking we might want to at some point, hire another fighter, and level up another fighter. We feel a little squishy. We may as well rest. No, aim. Nobody's fatigued. Alright, Adir can deal. So where are we going? Where are we going? We did want to work on our companions side quest, mostly. And we don't want to walk the whole endless paths unless we end up having to. But we spoke to Maya about lowering her prices. She told us that, yes, squash, bitter squash. So we're caught in one of those. If we're going to sort out the brothel, we're going to need to negotiate squash prices. Excellent. But Sagani, a little more interesting. Sagani wants to find Persak. And we'd like to help travel to the cliffs you saw in the vision. And Durance still just wants to travel with us. And he's finally starting to tell us things. And I think this one we should be able to do here. Adair wants to go to the records. Hall of Records. Deerfoot Village. So the Leaden Key Acolyte showed me an ancient tower near a cemetery in a neighborhood filled with rundown estates. In a derelict district of Defiance Bay. So we'll look at the map here in a second. I'm going to try not to move the cursor so much when I'm reading. I was looking at the past broadcast. It was pretty bad. It's hard not to move the cursor when you're reading. It's just a mental twitch, I guess. Prisoner by choice. That was the most interesting one. And I think that might mean the sanitarium. A wealthy neighborhood that also housed misery and madness. A prisoner by choice. So my money's on the sanitarium. Yeah, I'm thinking, have fun. We're going to hit a wall at some point. We already have nearly hit that wall where we're just low level, trying to push ahead the story and getting burned for it. So when that happens again, if it happens too badly, we're going to do that. Pretty much that. So we're not going to the village yet. I think we're going to try and find this tower near the cemetery in the neighborhood filled with rundown estates, and we are going to try and find the prisoner by choice, who I think is in the sanitarium. And we're going to try and take Adair, wherever his quest is, to the records archive. And then maybe we'll move out of Defiance Bay. All right, where did I remap my keys to tonight? Map. Brackenbury or Heritage Hill. One of those has got to be the rundown estates. I know there are estates in Brackenbury, but well, we'll see. Heritage Hill, is that where we weren't allowed into Heritage Hill? We weren't allowed into Heritage Hill. There were guards at the door. And they would take our coin, but we don't have much coin to give. So, sanitarium. Let's go to Brackenbury. Well, that's not how we do it.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Your brother, did you and he get along?
We got along how brothers do. He used to throw water on me to wake me up in the morning. I used to fill his boots with stinging ants.
My own brothers and sisters are doing very well for themselves, back in Tekoa. I don't know that they'd search for me if I were killed so far from home.
Brothers can be funny. I bet you'd be surprised how far they'd go.
Filled his boots with stinging ants. One of the more small but miserable things a child I did as a child was fill someone's boots with water. And at the end of the day, when they were ready to go home for work, they found their boots filled with water. Asshole! I don't know how old I was. Doesn't matter. It makes me feel icky to this day. Helping someone in the first fires gave you an opportunity to get into the hill place. What's it called? Heritage Hill. Cool. I might check that out. But sanitarium first. don't want to be over eager, but I'm the prisoner by choice. Had my attention right away. I've apparently got beard trimmings. Forgot to wash after trimming the beard. Now I've got beard all over my keyboard. Good times. The table is set with an assortment of leaflets and booklets, with titles like Practical Benefits of Animancy and Soul Adjustment for the Well-Adjusted Soul. I like that. Warden, an Animancer. From the Read Faster. I would love to read some of these. And as you know, we're reading a lot already. I'm going to be reading plenty. But, can we take this with us? Without getting horribly penalized? Is this a library? Is this sanitarium a library? It appears so. It's a little shorter. Nasatec Poetry, a compilation. The Expedition. I move. There is no compulsion. It is not a need, but something pulls. I cannot deny its draw. The white wends out past my vision. Its fierce eyes watch me as I move. The wolf tracks my step. A silent companion who will not join. All is blank. The pale expanse lies before and behind. I search. The miles pass, and still my feet move. My hunt continues unabated. The landscape returns my gaze, unaffected by my presence. The snow falls, needles driven by the wind. Its cold teeth bite my skin. The snow gathers, its hands around my feet, a fierce opponent who will not relent. All is white. My journey continues. I travel. I can no longer stop. A true compulsion forms. The need drives me on. I must see. The sun breaks through the gray. Its unrelenting gaze thaws me. My body warms under its touch. Frigid limbs move again and carry me farther. All is empty. The breadth of my existence is my destination. Sorry, we won't read all the books. I had to indulge. Maybe we'll take a few. Yes? No mind. Pay us no mind. The Midwife's Memoirs. Yeah, I don't read a lot of poetry. That was probably pretty flat. Well, maybe we'll sell these books. A prisoner by choice. Who would be a prisoner by choice? Maybe it'll be obvious, maybe it won't. These look like field sketches of Anguithian ruins and artifacts. So, Concha, I think it's... I mean, yeah, that... In short, yes. Yes. I think... I don't want to speak for Zeke. I can't speak for Zeke. I think he's upset with himself because he cares. He cares about what he's surrounded by, and in that moment he didn't. And when he realized that, it kind of broke his heart because he's a good guy. So we'll let it go. But that's what I think. I think it really hurt him when he realized how he affected people, and he said as much. And I think the reason is because he really cares. Anyways, the fine print is that a lot of people were affected, right? A lot of people were affected. I bet there are. I mean, I'm sure mods can fix that. But I had been playing it on a Mac, and I wanted to stream it a little more easily here. So we moved over to the PC.
Light, flame, and sound.
Huh?
This strange device seems to thrum with power.
Hail, traveler.
A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Ikosi, here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that I do not see the kith standing in front of me. What can I do? What do you do here? According to my research grant, I study awakenings. Sublimating pre-awakened souls has been one of Animancy's greatest successes, and I am working on a method to replicate the process on awakened souls. She gnaws at her lip. But the truth is that I find few suitable subjects here. Waidwin's legacy has left plenty of awakened souls, but most are too broken for study. She sighs. I fear I will return to Revua, with nothing to show for my efforts. I'm awakened. Do we put it on the table? Oh yeah. You're in luck. I have a volunteer. Are we talking about us? Are we talking about... Not us? Here we are. All right, we'll put it on the table. I'm awakened. I've been recalling flashes of a past life. She scratches her chin. Most interesting, but not the kind of awakening I can study, I'm afraid. I need someone whose awakened soul can be triggered with predictable stimuli. Souls such as these tend to manifest as alternate personas in the host. We do have someone like that. She gives you a broad, if strained, smile. But I thank you for the offer. We did have a volunteer. Well, I don't know that Aloth would volunteer, but... Yeah, that's the correct description. That is what happened. Something else you need? Well, we are looking for an expert. She laughs bitterly. That would be me. Although the lack of research subjects has made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer Animancy's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose souls have already awakened. But I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. You're in luck. I volunteer Aloth. She springs to the balls of her feet, beaming. Gallard, who is it? Aloth's lips curl into a frown. I don't know about this. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon. I jest. You Aedirans are so uptight. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. Now, they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Aloth by the shoulders and steers him to the couch. And try to relax, but don't try too hard. Then you will not be relaxing. Indeed. His eyes are humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The Animancer fastens thick copper bands to Aloth's forehead and wrists. I need a place for the cough drop. As she ratchets them tighter, his face twitches with suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knobs, dials, and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with Adra lenses to cut different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. How exciting! I've never seen this sort of thing performed. Kana peers at the device with interest. It seems suitably complicated. Does this mean we'll get to talk to Isilmir more? I like that lady. She raises a finger. But first, we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Sagani pats his arm. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't hear any of it. Aloth squirms on the couch. Very well. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob. To begin, tell me something personal. Something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in the Seathwood. He looks to you. His face is set in a frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension show through, nevertheless. What do you remember about your home? As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the mists of his own memory. Belisige doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are smoothing his essence, untangling its many threads. He closes his eyes. Comfortable, modest, quiet when mother is away, which is most of the time. Quiet enough to hear the clink of glass on wood. This is when I know to be most careful. Father is good about hiding the bottles. Mother, when she is home, is good at pretending not to notice them. This is good. I am starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little, because when she is around, he is usually only angry with her. but he has heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed, too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I am sweeping the kitchen, the next I am sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots, glistening with fresh polish, thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals. But it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Madiko! What? Roll the dice. What do you got there? You have to hear these things pronounced before you have any idea. Sometimes. Belisage. Belisage furiously cranks the knobs along her scope. He's hypnotized himself with this old memory. You've got to bring him out of it, quickly. I almost have it. Well, quick is quick. Your flattened palm is inches from his cheek when his hand shoots up and grabs your wrist. Aloth's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. Really? They won't voice this? I can't do that voice. I can't do any voices, really, and I certainly can't do what's her name. What's her name? What did they call it? No. They had a name for it. It was He'll speak, he'll speak, something like that, with a Y. No. We have to hear it again at least. I don't have it in my head at all. Try it again, and I'll can't go there. Yep. Hey, there she is. How have you been, Iselmir? Belisage truck. I'm losing it. We're losing it. All it takes is a couple words. Does everyone want to step in? Step right up. Step right up. It's open mic night. Karaoke time. Belisage sucks a deep breath through her teeth. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence. Something spreading and congealing. She glances at you over her scope. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voices high in ire. That warm molasses feeling that crips down your gut when crisis is nigh. If that's Iselmir, sorry about the voice. Belisage, please, do you have to start every sentence with a random word or name? Yes, she does. She does. Velfetto! We have flares of a totally distinct essence. She jots shorthand notes onto the pages next to her and turns one clicking knob of her scope. Now, try to get the two of them talking. Please, Iselmir, speak for yourself. Tell Aloth why you've awakened. Tell us, because... Please. Really? They couldn't voice any of this? All the voice work they put into this game, and they couldn't voice any of this? I'm halfway between Scottish, Irish, and the gnomes in Amalur. And it's rattling around in my head, and it's not getting anywhere near the mouth. Please voice this. He's the one needed me, hiding in his own bone bag like a turtle in its shell. Aloth's face twists in a fury. I never turned it over to you. Good, yes, very good. She rests from her scribbling, only to make another adjustment to her scope. I can now see two separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the spaces that he leaves empty. She prompts you with a circling of her wrist, quill still in hand. Go on. Aloth, what's this about ceding space to Iselmir? He grits his teeth painfully. I've given her nothing. She usurps me in my own body. Aye, and I lend him a pair too. No, can't do it. Can't get close to it. I think once in my life I managed to do something Scottish sounding. And whatever this is, it's not that. He'll speak, be damned. Aye, and I lend him a pair too. Ye should ask wit I did that old man of his. We're just gonna beat it with a stick. Because it's mean that they won't voice this. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I break it in 3 places. Have you heard this character? Do you know who I'm refusing to speak? I bet Have Fun does. And anyone who was watching the other night probably does. Be damned that they didn't voice it here. Aloth's head jerks to the side. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. I was awakening, but now I'm stuck with ye, and damned if I let your ninnying drag us both through the scupper. Very good. She lowers her scope and consults her notes. I think I've finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Iselmir's essence through the exchange. She had a particularly high density index during the most heated portions of their argument, and her essence seemed to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left rib cage. That's right around the spleen, which, of course, means that she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Aloth blinks back at you, and in the midst of his perturbation, you're not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. That's utter horseshit. Sagani's eyes are wide and innocent. It does seem as though she got one thing right. She glares at him. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation. Iselmir manifests when Aloth is in danger or under pressure. You're close. I think Iselmir's appearances are related to potential sources of trouble for Aloth. Aloth's right. That's absurd. Iselmir obviously shows up when he feels threatened. And if you're right, then removing Aloth's spleen should cure him. The first 3 options are very similar. When he's under pressure, source of trouble, when he feels threatened. We actually finished that and did a little bit of Book of Unwritten Tales. So what is today? Today is Wednesday. I have to drive up to Wyoming tomorrow to see a client, and I'll be back well before the stream. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe starting the second Witcher, which will be blind. I only just played the first one a few weeks ago, a month ago. So maybe we start The Witcher 2 tomorrow night and play that through the weekend, through the next week. It would take, I'm sure, at least a week. But I'm open to suggestions. Probably won't do back-to-back nights of Pillars. We'll probably wait a few days to come back to Pillars. So what do you think? What does anyone want to see? I have not picked up the new Batman game. I hear it's a mess on PC. Might pick up the PlayStation version at some point. I want to play some games blind before I go back to games I've played lots of times. I mean, I'm dying to play Fallout with all the news we've had. I want to play some Fallout 3, maybe some New Vegas. But I'd also like to play what people would like to join in for, so tell it like it is. When Aloth's in danger or under pressure. Belisige carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Aloth. I suppose that could be true. She jots another note. I'll have to check this against other research. He removes the copper bands. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Belisige frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the pages. She's looking for the answer. She's a true fortune teller. Concha, I believe the stories are pretty self-contained. There may be a little bit of carryover, but the second one should not depend on on understanding too much of what happened in the first. It was a really strange storytelling in the first Witcher. Very hard to follow. If you think this is hard to follow, following the story in The Witcher was very hard. The lore was good, the books were good, some of the character interactions were excellent, but whenever there was a cutscene to move the main story along, it just made no sense. So you practically had to dig the story out of all the lore and codex, basically. I'm hoping the second one does a better job with the storytelling. And I don't know a thing about it. The Selmir tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make these decisions for you. She did you a favor by dealing with your father, didn't she? I think she's trying to help you stand up for yourself. You may not like her methods, but you should hear her out. It seems that Selmir steps in when... I gotta get this cough drop out of my mouth. Sorry, crunchy. I could have muted the mic. Love the crunch. You love the crunch. Really, sorry. I should have muted the mic. I'm gonna crunch that thing. It seems that Selmir steps in when she determines that you're in danger. It's not clear yet whether this is a help or hindrance. From my position, I'd say it's pretty clearly a hindrance. I've got a lot to process. Regardless, thank you for your help, Liege. He does not look at Belisige. She sets her notes on the desk and returns to her scope. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it has been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of Revoir. Fentrer, Aloth. They couldn't even give us a voice sample for her. Not even one, right? They did that squeaky little generic hello at the beginning, and that was all we got. Glad you popped in. His grimace melts into a crooked smile. Aye, advancing the right-wise principles of animancy, just what ye've always wanted. As you turn to leave, you catch a darting movement out of the corner of your eye. Belisige is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aloth is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. Well, we were asked if we had an alignment, and if there's an alignment that we have, it's chaotic, good. So we're not going to interfere. Leave me out of this. He hides the papers in his cloak. Not to worry. Can't. We'll see to this on our own. I can't push out anything remotely like that voice. And I couldn't do it even with the sample, I don't think. That one just is off the wall. It's off the wall. Well, so much for that being the prisoner by choice. That's what I was looking for. What kind of strange dialogue will Modred have for us? And should we rob him first? Rob first, speak later. On the other hand, maybe we should speak with him first and examine his trunk later. In a corner of Modred's lab rests a large weathered trunk. It seems likely to contain something important, if only by virtue of its size. Well, we won't try to open it, but maybe we'll take a look. How mad could he get for our taking a look? Nothing grabs your attention except for the large padlock on the front. Whatever this Animancer keeps in here, he does not want anyone else to have or see. Modred. An Animancer scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
Hail, traveler.
Generic voice. Can I help you? He forces a polite smile. I'm still looking for an expert on awakenings. I hear that Valian woman studies them. You should go talk to her instead. What are you working on? My area of focus is whites, more specifically how to cure them. What's a white? A Hollowborn who received a transplanted animal soul during infancy. One of Animancy's early efforts to cure the legacy, if not a successful one. He removes his spectacles and wipes his brow. They show signs of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood, but when they reach adolescence they become aggressive, feral, but still victims in need of care. Transplanting animal souls into children seems like an odd solution. We Animancers were trying to do something about the crisis, better than letting it swallow a generation of children. He stares at a fixed point on the far wall, and despite the controversy, it only went so far because, at first, it seemed to work. People called it the salvation. Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings, of their families. He takes a slow breath. The complications don't begin until puberty, but that's when the incompatibilities between body and soul take shape. Children become violent, ravenous. But we paid dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted down Animancers and burned down their homes, with them still inside, often as not. Yeah, we met the spirit of Caldera de Baranzi, hanging from the gallows tree.
I have detected a signal embedded in the static.
Have fun. thank you for the follow. And welcome, even as you're heading out. Have a good one. Hope to catch you a little later. He takes a slow breath. Yep, we did read that. People took to calling it the cruel salvation, and many still loathe us for it. But we wanted to stop the legacy as much as anyone. The public begged for our help, and we did the best we could. I still don't know if that absolves us. So why do you study whites? He huffs. What kind of question is that? Just think of all the families that could be healed, the lives that could be restored. What could be more important? His face has reddened, and he turns away from you for a moment. He shakes his head. Animancy has an answer here. I know it. It's simply a matter of working it out. Good. He looks eager to return to his work. Dialogue's a little broken there, isn't it? Just looking around. Then be quick about it and don't touch anything. The sanitarium has a lax visitor policy, but I don't. Without another word, he resumes his work. Unexpected results. The canine host was listless and unresponsive, but it was determined that this was simply the implanted feline soul. Yarn resulted in vigorous stimulation. The canine host was unresponsive because of the feline soul. I got a response with Yarn, though. Scroll of Tanglefoot. Tell me this guy's not paying attention. How about that? Is that the theft symbol? I don't even recognize that symbol. Is that the theft symbol?
Yes?
It is, right? Yes, okay. Sorry, that was deliberate just to test. I needed to know if that was the theft symbol before we proceed with decision making. You're kidding me. What was that? Oh, no. What have I done? I moved my quick save button, so when I thought I was quick saving, I didn't. That's good. So we have an autosave. But I fear we're going to be clicking through some dialogue. That was excellent. That was excellent. All right, we're just going to... yeah, that was great. All right, just there's my quick save button. There's my... I remapped... I remapped the keyboard today. And apparently did away with my quick save button. Smoke them if you got them. We're not going to do anything but click through this, so it should only take a second. Same decisions. Leave me out of this. Okay. You want Taco Bell? I don't, but I could go for some good Mexican food. What am I saying? Taco Bell isn't even Mexican food. It's meat in a tube.
Hail and well met.
Okay. Sorry about that. So there we go. Quick save. Real one. Very nice. Shall we mess with his chest? Yeah, I'm not completely anti Taco Bell, Darky. When I was at camp many years ago, my favorite thing was the counselors that let a couple of the kids stay up really late. We'd go out to Taco Bell late and just get bags of tacos. So I have fond memories of Taco Bell, but I try to eat better food. All right, we're messing with this guy's chest. I'm bitter about having rolled back, so... A heavy lock holds the trunk shut. It's too sturdy to break, and the mechanism looks too complicated to pick. You'll need to find the key. Well, that was easy enough. He doesn't even seem to care. Well, they've clearly done some interesting experiments in this place. Another door that needs a key. Proper key. Sometimes we get people in here trying to make trouble for the Animancers. I wouldn't mind being better armored. So what if it makes the clients a little nervous? Was the key one of the items on the bookshelf? No, it was money and a scroll. Well, so much for my trip to the sanitarium. We can't get into any of the interesting places. 2 locked doors need a key. 1 locked chest needs a key. And we'll go back upstairs. So much for the sanitarium. For now.
Hail, traveler.
A woman stands in the shade of the garden, muttering to herself. She's fixated on the pages of a large and well-worn tome, seemingly oblivious to the blooming flowers and the cool, fragrant breeze. She only looks up when your shadow crosses her page. Do you mind? I'm rather busy. Darky, I don't think, I'm sure she's teasing, but I don't think Lamia's in any mood to, I think she's going to get what she wants tonight, is what I'm trying to say. I think she's going to get what she wants tonight. So be careful. What are you so busy with? She snaps the book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death, but we still have a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. What do you mean about making them stick? She brushes a stray lock from her forehead. Souls power bodies and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spate of soul-related ailments, including the Hollowborn. But if we understood how to reattach souls, we could end Wydwin's legacy, maybe even conquer death. She scratches behind her ear. That's the theory, anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all the research I need to put it into practice. What exactly do you need? There's a manuscript called the Theorems of Pangram. It contains research from Pangram's experiments on detached souls. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rumored to have a copy in the Elder Archives. Pangram's work is considered to be one of the more daring animancy texts, not something generally circulated among novices, nor easy to get a hold of. I wonder if we might have a peek at it. The theorems could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimda, the High Archivist, worships whale, which means she has some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge. And since she's not exactly a proponent of animancy, she tends to restrict the kinds of information that would be useful to me. Maybe she could be persuaded. You're welcome to try, but you wouldn't be the first. Anyway, I should probably get back to my work.
You're from Gilded Vale? Then you're close to home.
Close can mean a lot of things.
Surely you'll go back when this is all over.
Dunno. Guess that all depends.
If the guards, we haven't spoken to the guards, and it's possible that the guards need to be spoken with before we can even advance the quest. I'd hate to think that's true. If we thought it out and came to the right place, I would expect that to matter more than whether or not we had actually here. If I am to find this person, I will need to find this neighborhood. Perhaps the guards will know of it. Well, let's say we're in the right neighborhood. If it's Brackenbury, maybe we still need to speak with guards before we can progress? That would be silly. What do you know? Where are the mad kept? Only place around here that takes them is Brackenbury Sanitarium. I've heard they can treat your soul there, take the madness away. But there's just as many stories coming out of that place that'll chill your blood. There's a man, if you want to call him that, a Thelmare there. He's head warden. If you're visiting or checking yourself in, he's the one to talk to. I'm also looking for a neighborhood with a tower. It's near a cemetery. Best you stop looking then. The place you want is Heritage Hill. You can see the tower over the district walls out that way. The Justicar points to the northwest. But something happened there. They don't let people in anymore, and none of the knights want to be posted anywhere close to it. Steer clear if you know what's good for you. Farewell. That's kind of depressing. We guessed the right place, right off the bat. We went to the right place. We spoke with everyone we could. We gave up and left. Double-check the journal. You must talk to the guard. You must talk to the guard to find out where you're going. And what does the guard tell us? Go back where you were 5 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. So, what do you want to bet it's this guy in here? Well, he's not there anymore. Head warden. Ah, the head warden is the statue. So not that guy at all. A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down unblinking over the bustle of harried academics pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned toward you. Boy, they're just shallow on voices tonight. It's making me rethink things. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling in the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveler. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what is it that has brought you to my sanitarium? You may have a member of the Leaden Key. Throw it out there. Ethelmere groans, and the stone around him shudders. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own. But a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with the Leaden Key as well, I take it. They have something I need. They're up to something, and I'm trying to determine what. I don't like what they stand for. I wouldn't say that. They're up to something. I'm trying to determine what. They are always up to something. Of that you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? A prisoner by choice. I suspect it's a patient. That's not necessarily by choice. Would they have any patients that were, well, they may have self-admitted patients, right? I won't know until I've met them. It would be unwise to consider anyone above suspicion. There you go. Very well. In that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their offices downstairs. You will report anything suspicious to me immediately. That is my only request. Deja vu, anyone? At least we can speak with this man this time.
Good day, stranger.
I am getting a little tired of there not having voices for everyone we were talking with tonight. A bald man with a crooked nose gestures in demonstration over the still body of a patient before a small gathering of interested onlookers. Feeling your gaze, he pauses his discussion. Have you come to sit in? What is it you do here? Close as we are to the Glanfathan wilds, we get a number of Beawick maimings every year. Survivors dealing with complications from exposure. This fellow here is a severe case. His essence is a mere whisper of what it was. I am early in my research, only beginning to understand how they work. But in time, I hope to find a way to protect people from the storm's effects.
Well met, friend. Welcome.
No more chance to ask him about whether he's seen anything strange. There was one, and it's gone now. One option.
Hail, traveler.
Okay. Back down we go. My money's on Modred.
How do you do?
Has anything unusual been happening? You must be joking. This is the sanitarium. Nothing is usual down here. Although, now that I think of it, the patients seem more agitated lately. But they're Caedmon Azo's responsibility, not mine. There's an open door over here now.
I can do that.
North Ward patient. Batixa, the Pale Lady. Subject is female, mid-40s, awakened to a past life as a serial murderer, which now frequently emerges as the soul's dominant personality. Subject vacillates between violence and severe depression resulting from guilt of past deeds. Weak candidate for present research. North Ward patient, Graham. Subject is a male, approximately early 30s. Powers of speech absent, presumably as a result of the over-fragmentation of his soul. As such, he is the ideal subject for present research. However, experimentation has caused severe pain and induced panic, and I have had to enlist the aid of the guards in transporting him for more recent procedures. North Ward patient. Record, Idleman, the Midnight Man. Subject is male, mid-20s, displays acute dissociation and paranoid delusional tendencies, causing anger and extreme violence. Dangers of working with the subject preclude possibility of further use in present research. North Ward patient. Record, Usgrim. Subject is a male, approximately 17 years of age, admitted for episodes of catatonia, followed by occasional violent outbursts. Initial analysis of soul revealed severe fragmentation and essence deficiency. Said deficiency all but eliminates the possibility of utilizing the subject in present research. Caedmon Azo was absent from his office, and he's evidently been running some secret experiments. I should take this up with the head warden. Note from Azo. Ripley, I require more copper tubing for my next experiment. Do not requisition it from the sanitarium stores. I don't have the time to deal with the head warden's inevitable questions. So let's talk to Ripley.
How do you do?
A young Orlan woman traces her fingers along the spines of the books in front of her, row by row, her motions quick and skittish like a bird's. She does not notice you until you are nearly upon her. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? Well, what about you? I mostly help Master Azo set up and clean his equipment. I also keep his office organized, since he's too busy to do it himself.
Well met, friend.
I have found my voice is possibly going here. Or I might just need to clear my throat, but this may go poorly. Experiments. Caedmon Azo is in charge of patient welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Caedmon. I had hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office, or in the patient wards. I am granting you immediate access so that you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak to him further on this matter. And I, for one, am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would also ask that you do your best not to agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as it is. Wow. They just opened the door and everyone, it's general population sanitarium. Should be interesting. And we're looking for Graham. Why do I have a feeling all those flesh constructs will turn on us at some point? They look too powerful and too friendly. Something churns and bubbles in this tank.
I can do that.
No, you can't. It was locked. I don't think anyone has the skill for that. Nope. The copper wires and conduits are shiny. The device is warm to the touch.
I'll have it in no time. I'll have it in no time.
Nope. Hey, there's Azo. Caedmon Azo. Although at this point we're supposed to speak with Graham. What harm could it do? A round-faced, balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls. That's too many uppers in one sentence.
What is the meaning of this?
That's halfway to the crazy voice in Ayla. I heard you were demoted. How did it happen? His nostrils flare, and he bares his upper teeth more broadly. That's none of your concern. Did one of the others put you up to this? Aidmere, that smug weasel? Things went wrong. Everything. I don't know how. I'll never know. He spits on the floor as if to remove a bitter taste from his mouth. I'd like access to the North Ward. Out of the question. Those patients are in isolation for a reason. Perception 13. Your forehead seems damp all of a sudden. Perhaps I should discuss your insubordination with the head warden.
You smug cretin. How dare you come down here and meddle? You have no idea the importance of my research.
That's practically the first voice we've heard. Hour and a half. And except for a brief bit from a party member, that's the first voice we've heard all night. Which is why mine is gone. He balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger, a growl simmering beneath his breath, and a deep scowl compressing his face.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
And he gives us a key.
Indeed.
Okay. North Ward. That wasn't helpful. North Ward. Wonder where the entrance will be. Oh, it's right there, isn't it? We already found a door we couldn't open. Is this my face? Tell me. This man has the look in his eyes of a haunted animal, and at your approach he staggers backward to the far corner of his cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls if it would get him further away from you. He cries out, a bizarre primal utterance like nothing you have heard. I need to ask you some questions. Graham looks at you blankly. It's unclear whether he understands you or not, but his panic has momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed, as though his tongue were cut out. They are impossible for you to discern, if indeed they are words at all. Kana winces. I don't think he can speak anymore. Not in words, at least. This is monstrous. You're afraid. Do certain visitors make you afraid? He looks at you with uncertainty. Slowly, tentatively, he steps closer to the front of his cell. And as he does so, for the first time, you can perceive his soul within your ken. Within your ken. It is misshapen, as though maimed by some jagged instrument, and large expanses of it have been gouged out entirely. You feel no barriers of resistance. If you wanted to, you could look further into Graham's soul. You project out toward the maimed soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours as it whisks you into its depths. You are in your cell. A key turns. The door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves, incomplete, broken, fearful. Standing at the door is a rotund, balding man. His upper teeth and pointy nose remind you of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else. In your mind is a single word, and the word is no. But it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back wall, cornered. You cry out. In darkness, you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle, its meager flame casting long shadows across books and machinery. Straps bind your arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribes the crown of your head and the breadth of your chest. No response from Nightbot. Did Nightbot bail? Nightbot bailed. Yeah, Darky, I think, yes, go ahead. I mean, you're fine. Nightbot's not even blocking links. I don't know why I need to do permit. I don't right now. Just getting in the habit. Go ahead, please. The man is sorry. He is in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks you. Then he turns a knob and you feel yourself begin to crack from within, and you can feel pieces of you torn away, like having your insides chewed by a horde of rats, and you are screaming a scream you can barely hear. Continue searching. Another night. Heavy footsteps outside your door, coming for you. You look through a slit in your door, the flesh giant, the artificial being just outside, but facing left, facing the end of the hall. The boy there. The boy looks with interest at the giant, then collapses to the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a moment, then rights itself, turns away, and leaves. Decouple from Graham's soul. Graham looks at you, still wild-eyed but somehow more present. He nods at you, then walks back to the end of his cell. So from Graham to the boy at the end of the hall is where we shall go.
These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets. Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
I doubt the wealthier citizens have the same experience. I'm sure they have their share of family members they'd rather forget. But if all were treated were like this, the sanitarium would never survive. What did these patients do to warrant such conditions? Here's the source of all that knowledge you were so giddy about. Kana grimaces. It is one thing to be told as much, another to see it yourself. Let's be on our way. This place gnaws at the soul. Usgrim. We saw Usgrim mentioned in the notes. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the center of his cell, gawkish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. Reach out for his soul. You close your eyes and edge forward toward the boy's soul. And as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath, as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You're standing in a cell now, the same cell, in the sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds, the same stops every time, the misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you, collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing towards the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly, you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel, you are strong again. You step heavy-footed down corridors unheeded by the other constructs, and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office piled with books, and scribbled papers, and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands upon a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd stacked high above you on the tiered seats of an amphitheater. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still. But this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl. But this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous. Unlike the others, this one has no soul of its own. Vacuous. Is that it? Vacuous. Taco Bell. Even with those words, Darky, you can make me hungry. Not for Taco Bell. Usgrim. The man speaks, and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. Bear witness, he says, and he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow. But the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theater aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through a tube along a length of copper wiring that runs to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark, and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back up at the crowd. "Behold," he says, but there is obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a plodding step forward, then another, and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks at a volume meant for the crowd. And this is the moment. At the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hands outstretched. But you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panicked screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who would put their faith in animancy now? I hope we didn't just skip one. I think I just got a double click in there. You are pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle at last on a room you have seen before, expansive, with a tall device encasing an Adra monolith at its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There is no mistaking now that it is the soul of the man who caused your awakening that gazes out from that borrowed husk. A watcher. You made me into a watcher. I need you to undo it. Or, I believe we share a common past. I'm just looking for some answers. Or, not just a watcher. Someone who'll break those frail little legs of yours if you don't do exactly what I tell you. I believe we share a common past. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems, for that moment, that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, and then seems to think better of what he was about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look, your hunger. You hunger. Hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backward with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly, he slumps forward. Oh boy. Oh no. That is what I feared. That is what I feared when we came in. Oh boy. Okay. Well, we're about 2 hours into the stream, and this is our first fight of the night. All we have done is read and read and read. Oh, man. Really? Are we so lucky as to get a quick save? Cannot save while in combat. Does that mean if we get our ass kicked, we get to talk to this guy again? Let's just see if it made an autosave. No. No, the last autosave. No. We basically got 20 minutes of dialogue that we just went through. And if we don't survive this, we'll have to at least click through it again. That's pretty crummy. Graham's out of his cell. He's mad. Flesh constructs. They're possessed. Crazed patient. We haven't seen it yet, but I'll bet the entire level is lit up like a Christmas tree. Of course, no time to get information. Well, this should be fun. Nadier's not even healed up. How's everybody's spell counts? Down. Everybody's spell counts are down. We weren't even rested. That's brilliant. We are in sorry shape for a fight. Should have known better. Should have known better. All right. Who's where and what are we doing? This is going to be a mess. Start with a buff. Where's he there? He's kind of stuck in the corner. See if you can knock down Graham. Let's see where they path to. Flesh construct. No surprise. Hits hard. Graham hasn't actually swung yet. Sagani was knocked down. Oh, that was Aloth. Okay, Nadir's actually in a better position than I thought. Knock that guy down. Okay, now we can't throw out the repulsing seal that we learned about last night, or the other night, because we didn't bloody heal and rest before this encounter. Because it was 20 minutes in the making. 2 hours, really. This encounter was 2 hours in the making. And in all that time, we didn't rest. We almost went to the common room at the brothel. If only. If only. Alright, we have no heals. We have no heals. One. We have one low-level heal. That's all we've got. Graham is just about down. Graham is just about down. Let's use our one heal. Is there anywhere we can get Durance and Sagani? Maybe the fox and the wolf. Maybe. Idleman. Crazed Patient, Batixa. Who else is over here? Crazed Patient number 2. Idleman. I hope Durance can move without getting a disengagement penalty, but I doubt it. What can we do here to help? Magic missiles on Idleman. Kana can finally bring out some skeletons.
What?
Once he's standing, he lives to stand. Oh, Kana, please, skeletons. We could really use them. We would just stand up. We don't have any heals. Durance is about down. Oh, but we're not out yet. We didn't get the skeletons yet. Could you please? We could really use them. Are you standing yet? Akana's still on the ground. Yes, skeletons. All right, hold on. Skeletons. Work on the construct. Meet your kind. Well, we lived. Can we rest? Yes, please. Wonder what happened to Nightbot before.
Of course.
No surprise, the bucket reeks of offal. I'm sure there will be more constructs on this level. We saw a bunch on the way in. It's a little hard to tell if we need to do anything in particular. Leroy! You know what? It's the cap we put on Adir that keeps making me think it's Kana. Even though he's got the flaming sword, that orange cap keeps confusing me. Clever, right?
You're not getting to me.
No, you're not getting to him is what's happening.
You're not getting...
Hi?
Cute.
Wait, sail me.
Can the whole party come up here, please?
Metu.
Instead of the choke point, we're the ones getting choked at the choke point.
Got him!
Our own choke point, and we're the ones getting choked. Come on, party, up here, please.
Hey.
Get him!
Sail Miss Metu.
Let's go!
Could you people just move? Is there a setting so that your companions can walk through, or at least around each other? We should check. More realistic doesn't mean more fun. When your own companions trip over each other's feet and get stuck in doorways. Suppose I want it both ways. I want the bad guys to choke and us to pass. Okay, that's not fair, but it would be more fun stumbling over your own feet. Yay. I'm getting out of here. Oh, does that mean we can go mess with his chest? Nope, that wasn't him. How about this key? We don't have the right key. The head warden must be told what's going on down here, you think? Smart guy right there. What the blazes happened down there? You were given permission to ask questions. Azo was being influenced by a patient, but that patient really wasn't himself at the time. You finish your explanation, and Ethelmir breaks his silence. I have read accounts of people in history who could do what you describe. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far to suggest that they are all the same person. If truly such a person was here among us, plotting our ruin, would that I had a body again, and could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place. I am grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. What of Azo? What part did his experiments play in this catastrophe? If I hadn't come along, Azo's experiments would have eventually resulted in another scandal. Stir the pot. At the worst possible time. Say no more. Caedmon Azo is no longer welcome at this facility. Well, that may have consequences. So...
Well met, friend.
So, okay. So it doesn't have any further direction, and it's also not complete. And that just may be how it is for now. So let's go talk to Wyla at the keep in the First Fires. I'd actually like to take a little break. I think I'm going to take a little break here. But there's a bigger question. A bigger question to decide before I take the break. Do you want to keep going with Pillars right now? I ask because my voice is a little shredded. It's not too bad to continue, but would you like to switch games? Would you like to start something else or move to something else? We're not going to abandon Pillars even if we do that. We'll come back to Pillars, but if by this weekend we're going to start a new game, maybe The Witcher 2, we could start it tonight. We could always start it and do the introduction. That's one option. I've only been streaming for 2 hours. I do feel like I've been speaking for 6. So it might be nice to change it up, but it doesn't have to be The Witcher. Not even sure that's what we're going to play next. We've got the Book of Unwritten Tales is still open, but that might be a little light. I am. You can hear my voice going. Yeah, that might be a reason right there. I am enjoying Pillars myself, but the feeling I get is that people watching might or might not be enjoying it so much. Reading all this dialogue probably turns some people off. They don't want to hear it. Come on, get with the fighting. Some people probably like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy the lore even more. That conversation down in the sanitarium, the last one, I quite enjoyed as an example. It was long, it was a lot of reading, but it actually had meat. Unlike that that Animancer who was unvoiced, and another one who was unvoiced, and they just, yeah. So, I don't know if the way I am playing Pillars is a turn-off. Maybe it's a turn-off for some people, or most people. Hopefully not everyone. Yeah, I hear you whistling. Why don't whistle that? Whistle that. So I'm real open about this. Let's start The Witcher. Let's start The Witcher. Well, we can definitely do that. If we start the second Witcher, though, this is fine. This is probably good. But if we start the second Witcher, it's a pretty big commitment for the stream schedule. Meaning, if we start that tonight, we're going to play it tomorrow night and Friday night and Saturday night. And maybe we'll do some fill-in-the-blank stream on Sunday, on the off day. But we'll probably be playing it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So, if we start that, it's a commitment. And when we come back to Pillars, we probably won't mix Pillars in with the middle of The Witcher. So, if we switch to The Witcher, we'll be coming back to Pillars in, 10 days. Something like that. So, why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? I have not done any testing with The Witcher, so I haven't set up any game settings. I think it has controller support on the PC. Let's see. That would be very nice. The first one did not. Okay, controller support. I think we're a go. So let's do this. I am going to put up a different message here. Here's what I'd like to do. I'm actually going to stop the stream, change the title, restart the stream with a setting up message, and I will let that play for a good 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to take my break with a setting up message on the screen. So, okay. Stream will go down. Then back up with a message about changing games. A boot? What do we got here? About changing games. About 5 to 10 minutes. We'll do it like that. Okay. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for putting up with all the voice dialogue that may not have been all that interesting. So, stopping the stream.